I'm in favor of any free market development here in Bristol. It's not subsidized, but I do think that the public should be able to weigh in.
I'm sorry, name and address?
Sean Rivest, 53 Lancaster Road. I'm sorry, I forgot Nate each time. But I do respect the will of the neighbors, and I would like to hear more, and hopefully everyone's informed about the development over there as to the big yellow signs. But I'm wondering, why does the zoning commission even look at the application? Currently it's zoned for residential, and there's an application for business. So if we have to approve the Renaissance site plan because it follows zoning, then why do we look at the site plan for the free market development on Route 6? I'm curious. Can anybody answer that for me?
The answer to the question is that the zoning commission, under the law, establishes the zoning regulations in the zoning map. And the way the state law works is if somebody wants to change the zoning on a piece of property, they're entitled to make an application to this commission to change the zone. The board has the widest discretion with a zone change that they do with any land use application that comes before them. So, although they have to consider the application and hold a hearing such as they're doing tonight, they are not bound to have to approve a zone change. They are bound to have to approve a site plan if it meets the zoning regulations. They're not bound to approve a zone change if, in their estimation, it's for whatever reason, legitimate reason that they indicate on the record for denying a zone change. They can do so. Just as if they choose to approve it, they have to state a reason for approving a zone change. But it's because they have the it's their jurisdiction, and state law gives them the widest discretion on a zone change.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the application for across the street that was approved for Biker's Edge, which I think the lot is for sale right now, I believe.
Mr. Chairman, through the chair, this has got nothing to do with these comments with the current application. Can the speaker please be directed to make his comments concerning this application? Or sit down.
Okay, so if I ever have a question for the zoning board, I can't bring it to a public hearing. I can only speak on the application, even though it's relevant. Okay. Was the piece of property across the street from it zoned for commercial? Yes or no?
The piece of property, the Biker's Edge property, is not directly across the street. It's down the street from this property.
Was it zoned for residential or commercial before it was approved?
Just Biker's Edge?
Yeah.
The Biker's Edge property, I'd have to go back and look at the record. The Biker's Edge property, one of them I believe was in a neighborhood business zone, and I don't recall if the other one was in a residential zone. I'd have to go back and look. The point is that, as Attorney Zerowis correctly pointed out, every situation is different, and the circumstances surrounding one zone change may not be the same as circumstances surrounding another zone change. That's why the board has wide discretion. I can show you plenty of locations on the zoning map where there's business, as is the case here, where there's business zoning along a street. It stops, it goes up to a corner, and then on the other side of the street it's zoned residential. This happens to be the case. There are other cases where it keeps going. That's a function of any number of factors. So, as is the case with this application, the Commission will look at this on its merits, just as they look at the Biker's Edge zone change on its merits, and make the decision based on public input, plan of conservation development, their own observations, their own opinions, and they'll go from there. So, what may have happened down the street, in the Commission's mind, may or not be relevant to how they act on this.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question, Alan, and upholding the city charter, letting me speak at a public meeting. Thank you.